All right, cool. All right, I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this and all that, because this has just been really cool, especially because like for
So
me,
hold on. Do you want me to start recording yet?
if you want to, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. All right, sorry. But yeah, dude. Don't mention it. I saw that you interviewed Bundan and stuff and Switch, and I was like, yeah, I'm so down.
Yeah, I think like in the past I've tried contacting you like once through email, and I've had one time like a Switch stream, someone who was on it, like I asked that, but I never like got around, like I never tried taking more initiative. So having this finally done is like amazing, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's nice to meet you. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, my email it gets so flooded and everything, and there's so much spam and stuff. I feel bad that I, wasn't able to respond, and then, but yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice that finally able to yeah to connect. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Always happy to help out like creators on the rise and everything.
Yeah. So I guess we should start with the questions. First one is, what are your main inspirations for YouTube, animation, and art?
All right, let's see. My favorite animators and stuff growing up. I mean, the top one has got to be the Odd Ones Out. I don't know the way that he's able to tell stories and stuff. Him and Jaden Animations. And there was another guy that used to upload. His name is Tony V Tunes. He stopped uploading a little while ago. Now he does music full time, but he was great too. All three of them were like the kind of like my trifecta that I would listen to or watch and listen to when I was growing up. And especially Tony V Tunes. I remember I watched the animation tutorial of his, and he was talking about character bounces and like that. That's kind of like a part of my identity now is making like Riggy bounce and every single frame. And it's just from his video that I learned how to do that, and I saw the other YouTubers doing that too. And then also Domix is super old YouTuber that I used to watch all the time. But yeah, those are the main ones that kind of inspired and like from an animation perspective. I watched a bunch of YouTube back in the day. Like Dan TDM and Stampy and Tobuscus, but there was a lot of YouTubers that I think it'd be impossible to name them all, but for animation at least, those are the three.
Yeah, I I'm very happy because I recognize most of those names because
Oh
I've
yeah.
I also kind of like grew up on that kind of side of YouTube and all the animation, but I suck at animation because I can't draw a character over and over again for like the life of me. Um, but another
It just you got to start somewhere. That's how I used to be. I mean, I can't do frame by frame, and so it's just finding what works for you, and it's.
and next thing is, what is like the main thing that pushed you into doing content creation and all that?
Well, I'd always wanted to be a content creator for years. I had, I think every kid's dream now growing up is being a YouTuber, right? And so I kind of grew up in that camp of like seeing other YouTubers do it and thinking, man, that would be such a cool thing to do and entertain, a bunch of people. I've always just wanted to be some sort of artist that had, an audience and to entertain people. But what kind of pushed me over the line was just I was working a day job as a as a host at a restaurant, and I kind of got this feeling of like I don't know, like I could be replaced, and so that's what really set me over the edge. I was like, all right, I have to make this YouTube thing work, just because I really wanted to do something that I felt at least was special, and like I wasn't, I don't know, sort of like wasting my time or whatever. And people can be happy with day jobs like that. I'm not saying that. For me personally, I just felt, I don't know, I felt like I could be doing better. That's all. So yeah, that's kind of what pushed me over the edge.
I completely can see that, and honestly, just with what you've done, you have put a name out for yourself, and I don't think like with what you do, I don't see anyone being able to replace you. Which I'm very happy you did choose this because it's like you're one of my favorite creators to watch, honestly, for like shorts. So,
I appreciate that, man.
next, who are some people that like in YouTube do you want to work with?
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to like. It's hard to like list off just like creators that like I don't know because you really never get a vibe for people until you meet them, and so like even still I don't really like usually I'll meet a bunch of creators or like network and stuff through like friends and stuff, but I never get like this vibe of like, oh, that's somebody I want to work with unless I talk to them for a long time and like I jive with their personality and stuff because I never want to like I don't know. I never want it to feel like a business transaction. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you show up in my thing, and I'll show up in yours, and then we'll collaborate. And it's I don't know. There's a side to it that's like if you just jump into it or you do it the wrong way, then it can seem sort of like businessy or like you're using each other for clout, and that seems kind of like I don't know, icky to me and kind of disingenuous or kind of disingenuous. Is that the right word? I don't know. But yeah, so it's kind of hard. I mean, I could give like the obvious answer of like, it'd be epic to meet Mr. Beast one day, or like, I don't know. I think Tommy Yennett's content's cool, stuff like that. But I don't even know how we'd make that work. I mean, or I could just, childhood heroes and stuff like the Odd Ones Out and stuff. But I don't know if, anyway. But yeah, for the most part, collaborations and stuff that I do or that I've planned and stuff is with YouTubers that I've met and I know their personalities and I vibe with them, and it's a fun thing to collaborate with instead of just doing it out of let's make the numbers go bigger, stuff like that.
Yeah, I honestly with I can see that with your collabs and stuff. It's obviously that you guys have like known each other for a good bit, and I feel like I'm just like complimenting you over and over, but it obviously shows and it makes them seem more special, and it kind of reminds me of like older YouTube because that's how they always felt. Because like collabs always felt like they were just friends, and that's what I kind of like enjoy watching and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
man. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Next is what is like some of your process for getting ideas for shorts?
It's wild. Like people have asked me before, like, how do you come up with a short idea like every day or whatever? And it's I don't know. It's kind of like bad at this point, but like my phone, I will whip it out at the most like the most inopportune times. I can't my family members, like close friends or my partner, they'll be talking about something. I'll just be like, wait, hold that thought for 2 seconds, and I'll have to pull out my phone and write down an idea. But really, it is just like random points throughout the day, I don't know, like I'll see something or I'll somebody will say something and I'll think of I don't know. It's so weird. I mean, there's been a couple days when it's like it's super late at night and I still haven't come up with an idea for a short, or my list is just like my list on my phone is kind of blank, and so I'll have to like I don't know. Usually, I'll just watch a couple YouTube videos and something will inspire me, or or I'll look through my old content at this point. I'm privileged enough to where I can just kind of look at like all the videos that I've uploaded and kind of associate it with things, if that makes sense. But yeah, for the most part, it is really just looking at random things and just I don't know, just thinking like, how could I or would that entertain people, right? So it's just yeah.
Do you and like with that, do you feel like there's any topics that you kind of just go to like immediately if like there's like nothing flowing at all?
I mean, usually Disney has something for me, right? I mean, there's so much stuff going on in the company, at least for a while back in the day. I mean, not as much anymore, but yeah, for a while there, Disney, they always had something going on, and so I would usually just find some short to like talk about something about the company.
Yeah. Now this is a question that I feel like I've always wanted answered because I don't know how to feel about it personally, but how do you feel about like people who make fan channels completely like based on your channel, like same assets, same ideas, and all that?
I mean, I love to see it. I mean, there's a degree of like oh man, there's a degree of kind of sadness that it's like one to one because I don't know. I wish that I could tell like all these fan channels and stuff that like man, I love seeing people use Riggy and I love seeing people replicate my style because I know how fun it would be. Like when I was younger, I'd always get like the inspired by like, big YouTubers and I'd like just straight up like one to one do their content. But it wasn't like ripping off. It was more just like I had so much love for that creator that I would replicate it, right? And so that's what these kids are doing, I'm sure. Most of them it is a younger audience, but I wish that I could tell them like, that the chances of like I don't know, making it big off of doing that are like almost nothing. And I feel bad like that they're putting a lot of effort into these videos and they're getting not a lot of views. And there was one channel I saw a long time ago. Somebody had sent it to me of like people that were doing like one to one like copies of my shorts, and then they made like their comments. They had like a pinned comment talking about like they were sad that the videos weren't getting views or whatever. And it's like videos like that, and I feel bad that they're not gonna get stuff out of it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And they get so many like hate comments and stuff of people saying like, "Oh, you're a rip off" and stuff like that, and that's terrible. You know what I mean? Like my whole community is supposed to be like, the peace sign and everything. And then they find these kind of like channels that replicate the style and they go and berate them, and it sucks, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. I mean, personally, I love seeing those channels because it just means that somebody's super passionate enough about my content to want to replicate it, like I was back in the day, And so it's more flattering than anything, but it kind of sucks that they get a bunch of hate and stuff. I don't know.
Hmm. I'm not gonna lie, for a bit, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm a big fan of those channels, but now I've kind of grown to them because I see a lot of them, and I completely see where you're going. And honestly, I feel like probably won't ever happen to me, but like I feel like it would be flattering in that kind of aspect and stuff. So,
Hey
now,
man, don't say it'll never happen to you. You're just starting out. You got plenty of time.
yeah, but hopefully, I'm still trying to find my footing personally with what I want to do.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
it's all about finding a style. It's all about finding a style and everything. And yeah, it happens for everybody. Everybody eventually finds their way.
mhm. Next thing is, what keeps you going on with like doing YouTube every single day?
Well, like motivation and stuff, it has been a touchy thing for a while, but at least every single day for sure, it is kind of like built into me now. It's kind of wild. Like every single day, I talked about this recently on a Dear Dano short, or a Dear Dano video. But every day when I wake up, I have to make a short now, just because you build a habit over a certain amount of time, and so Dear Dano especially, or not Dear Dano, shorts especially every single day like I just have to make one, or every single night I have to prepare one, because it's sort of like an itch now, and I feel like physically sick if I don't, because I've done it so often. But still staying inspired for like main videos and stuff. It's just thinking about like um it's thinking about like certain scenes that I just desperately want my audience to see, that really gets me excited about a project. And then just starting small, working on one small thing about the project, like just doing one frame, or one character animation, or just like starting out with a couple mouth movements and stuff like that, and then it just snowballs into finishing the whole project.
I'm not gonna lie. Earlier today, I did watch that Dear Dano video, and I'm like, oh, that's already a question I had there. But I was like, there'll be a different response, hopefully. But yeah, I will say I do love Dear Dano. It is it's a really great channel in my opinion, especially because there's just topics that you talk about that I kind of can relate to, and I know that's like the whole purpose of it, and it's really nice to just have that there. Next thing
I'm
is.
grateful.
Mhm. Do you ever plan on switching from shorts to long forms like completely, or do you kind of just want to stick to shorts?
Man, I mean, it's a tough answer, because I'd love to do long forms like consistently, if that's where like, if I knew for a fact that all of my fans would love it. And I do, I mean, like when Toon Turf comes out, most of my attention will be on that, and I don't know how it'll affect the shorts if Toon Turf does like extremely well. But even still, if it does bad, then I think that the focus will be just pushing out as many long forms as I can on my main channel. And I've thought about, a bunch of YouTubers and stuff. They have to pivot. They have to pivot in their careers in order to keep their audience entertained, or just to keep their channel healthy and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like there's a comfort with how many comments I've gotten of people saying, "I wake up and watching your short is part of my routine," and I don't want to take that away from people, if that makes sense. And so I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag of like, well, I'd love to move away from them eventually. There's a certain point where, I have to admit that I've kind of reached a ceiling with my shorts, and they're all sort of similar now. And it doesn't feel as much like I'm putting a whole lot of creative effort into it, but at the same time, it makes people happy. So it's kind of like, kind of a tear at you know, we'll see.
Mhm. Next thing is with one channel in particular, but do you ever plan on doing some stuff with your other channels like Daily Dose of Dano?
It's funny you mentioned that. We're probably like a week out from actually the upload starting on that. But yeah, we've been scheduling. I hired somebody a couple weeks ago to start. Anna, she edits the Rumble Pack podcast. I hired her to start cutting up a bunch of shorts and stuff, and finding clips and things to start uploading on that channel actually. So it's just gonna be a clip channel. And I filmed a channel trailer for it yesterday, actually, or like the channel sort of like I needed like a sort of trailer to put there to make sure, to make people know that it's official or whatever. But yeah, so the idea with that one is just going to be a bunch of clip content. Hopefully in the next week or two, it'll start getting uploads. And then the Dano channel. Actually, that one's hired people as well. I can't, I can't do it on my own with like Toon Turf and everything. Is like that's the main focus, and so these other channels was always just gonna have to be outsourced, I guess, in the past. It took me a while to realize that there's a certain point where you got to admit you can't do everything, and so I did have to hire people to manage these channels. But yeah, so for the Dano channel, that one's going to be stream highlights, or yeah, stream highlights and stuff. I hired somebody else to edit that up, and then potentially there's a chance for like reaction type content to like the subreddit and like the Discord and just fan content, so that way I can feel closer to the community and everything. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. No promises after Toon Turf's like release date and everything. I kind of learned not to make promises if I'm not 100% sure that gonna keep it. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm Now that I know about that, I'm actually really excited to see that because like the streams, I don't know, I haven't been able to catch into most of them, so be able to see
Yeah,
clips and
that's the case with most people. They love the content and everything, but like 2 hour, 3 hour streams, like even to me, that sounds kind of insane. Like binging all of them now, like what? There's like at least 100 streams, and so it's kind of unrealistic to watch like 100 3 hour streams or two or hour and a half streams. And so hopefully the stream highlights and stuff will be sort of like a more digestible way for the community to watch those.
yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited to see stream highlights because most of the ones I've seen are like the Dano loses his crap stuff and all of that, which is like, oh, I didn't realize Dano streams, and so that's really fun to learn. And just I have been trying to like go into a couple streams, but I don't know. I just don't have like as much time as I want to do with them. So next thing is how long have you wanted to make an like how long have you wanted to make an animated series? And was it like always kind of like related to Riggy or just something else in like the back of your mind?
I've always had like ideas for like movies and TV shows and stuff. I think I've kind of like man, ever since like probably like freshman year high school, I kind of like nah, maybe a little before that. I kind of like have really been attracted to the idea of television as a medium to tell stories and stuff because I feel like with movies, you have to squeeze everything into such a tight like such a tight I don't know, like it's you got an hour 30 minutes to get people to like these characters and then tell a whole arc with them, and a lot of movies are restrictive, and a lot of them fall into like categories of like you can it's sort of predictable and stuff, and when you get to a certain point, like, oh well, the movie has to end soon, and so it has to have certain things happen, and it falls into, I don't know, I feel like movies are very difficult medium to get into and to master, and right out, and it's a lot easier to look at a movie and say, hey, this is bad, like right off the bat, or like whatever. But with television, um I feel like pilots and things are judged a little more nicely. And also you just get so much more time, if you make a mistake, or if you want to, tell someone's story over a longer period, or arcs and things. And also it's just hard to predict where television's going to go. And you can have sort of you can let people sort of linger on things, right? Like in the middle of a movie, if there's a character death, well, the story has to keep going. Whereas in a television show, you can, just have it at the end of an episode and have this dramatic, thing happen, and then people, can just sort of like sit with it for like a week or a couple weeks, or a couple months, probably in Toon Turf's case, between episodes and things. And so I don't know. I just like that idea so much better. And I've had a couple ideas for shows and things, but all of them have been live action, and obviously, unrealistic for me to do, and so they've just been ideas. But then Toon Turf was really the first thing that it was during Shorts Wars season one when I was animating Riggy being held hostage, that video, and I was kind of like, wow, this is like, if I wanted to make an animated pilot, it would be like doable. You know what I mean? And I was like, I kind of realized that like I have kind of the skill set needed for this. Little did I know it's a lot more complicated than I thought. I think there's a post I saw a while ago that said like The only way that you commit to big projects is thinking that they're easier than they will be, or something like that. I don't remember. It was a lot more clear quote, but yeah, I mean, I got into Toon Turf thinking it would be easy. If I had known how much work was going to go into it and all of the things that would come up and all the problems and issues, then I don't know if I would have, committed to it in the first place. But I'm glad that I'm here, and I'm glad that I've gotten this deep because when you're this far into a project and it becomes like this close and means this much, then it's like you just have to see it through and get it done to the best that you can make it. Especially with like all the issues that have come up, it's sort of solidified the fact that like, well, I really have to make this be like the best it can be because this is my one, I'm not doing all this again, basically, right? And so it's, well, aside from like future episodes and things, but like if it flops, it's going to be really hard to like, start over from scratch on a different project or something that to like this magnitude. So we'll see how it does.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I never thought that you'd be someone who want to make like a live action stuff, but I think that that's actually really interesting. And then I thought Toon Turf was something you had like on the mind for like at least a bit, like before Shorts Wars. But that's actually really cool to learn and stuff. So
Well, yeah, I'd always like thought like Riggy definitely has an origin story to tell, and I never really knew how I would go about it. I thought maybe a series of like short videos or something. I don't know. It was always kind of a foggy thing in my mind. But then when Shorts Wars kind of enabled me to realize that yeah, I can make full length animations, and I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Like this is the way to do it. And so I don't know. I don't know if I like thought about revealing his lore piece by piece or like. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah, I grew up as a film student and everything. I loved my electives in high school. I was a film kid for 4 straight years and stuff, and I've always been obsessed with movies and writing and acting and stuff. And so that was always I was a film kid at heart, and the animation sort of came as like just it's sort of the easiest method to tell story. It's not, not easy. Obviously there's animators out there that work super hard and everything, but I'm just it's the sort of the cheapest method to go about it, if that makes sense, because you can animate something completely on your own. I'm the only animator working on Toon Turf, and so um, it's the cheapest method to go away, yeah, to go about something. I'm not renting cameras. I'm not hiring actors to commit to long shoots and stuff. Just hiring voice actors to give me a couple voice lines maybe for like an hour or two, and then it's all it's just the cheapest sort of method to tell stories, if that makes sense. At least from where I'm standing. So yeah.
and with Toon Turf, do you think it's gonna be like a show with like a lot of secrets, or is it like more of a story that's pretty straightforward?
Um, I'd say yeah, more of a mix of both. I think there's going to be an A. I think the A story will hopefully be easy to follow. You know what I mean? I think like it's sort of like I think of it on like two layers, like A and B. Of like the surface level story, hopefully will be straightforward and people will be able to understand it pretty easy. I mean, it's pretty, Riggy versus evil, or sometimes Riggy is the evil. Sort of like a straightforward. Like how's Riggy progressing to be sort of a worse character throughout the series and then hopefully getting his redemption, at least to a certain extent. One of the big ideas of Toon Turf is just seeing like how divisive I can sort of make the audience be of like, is he a hero or is he not? And like, oh, well, these things have happened to him. Does it justify why he's done these certain things? And so it'd be kind of cool to open up those conversations. But then I think I kind of want like a B level to where beneath the surface level story there's things that happen in the background or like subtext or like sort of mysteries that like pop up that maybe they're harder to explain or they leave room to interpretation, things like that. But yeah, hopefully a little more complex on certain layers to keep people engaged and thinking about it for a while, because I know like I don't know. I feel like straightforward stories, they kind of like, you watch it, you be like, oh, okay, that's good that all wrapped up. And then, you don't think about it. You move on to something else. And I'd like to Turf to, kind of have a little more of a lasting sort of just something that you think about a lot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, mix of both.
Yeah, like a show that you like 3 years later, and there's like 1 hour documentaries about it, all that, be just like dissecting like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That's the hope. That's the dream. But, we'll see. You got to make it successful first, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's important a bit. Um, And like the final main question, I obviously have like two last ones, but did you ever think you'd get this far on YouTube?
Man, I when I first started, the goal was just I remember specifically just thinking, you know what, 100K subscribers. If I can get 100K subscribers, then I'll be a real YouTuber, and then I can put my effort into making long form videos and different content and stuff. And then 100K came, and then I was like, oh well, I still don't really feel like a real YouTuber. I don't really know how this is, you know. And I was like, you know what, maybe a million. If I get to a million, then I'll feel like a real like I've earned this, or you know, that'll be when I've like really hit it. And then I got to a million, and I was like, yeah, I still don't feel it, you know, still just gonna keep grinding on shorts and stuff. And then eventually, like, I got to a certain point, like now, what is it, almost 4 million subs, and I kind of look back and I'm like, I feel like a real YouTuber, and it's crazy. I don't know when it happened, but like I have the audience that I was, you know, desperately looking for and everything, and I got so obsessed with like, oh, let's get this number higher for no reason. You know, it wasn't to like compete with anybody or like be better than anybody. It was mostly just for like myself, and like, oh, well, you know, I've gotten this big number, and now I can feel like I've accomplished something, or like I've gotten an audience or whatever. And then, you know, I look back and it's like, well, I've had an audience the whole time. The number, it doesn't mean anything. You know, there's subscribers with there's channels with like 17 million subscribers, and they pull like 20,000 views per short, and it's like you know, subscribers, it's a number that doesn't mean, you know, doesn't mean much. It's just, you know, it's just having a dedicated audience. And the audience that I have through, I don't know if it's through streams or just through people loving Riggy and stuff, it's insane. Like, I never thought that that was something that, like, just how dedicated everybody is. You know what I mean? And how much people engage with Riggy, and like every single short, over analyzing it in a good way, you know, stuff like that. I never thought that I would have that dedicated of an audience. You know what I mean? And so I think that's like the true measure of success for me, at least, is just how, you know, how real like all of my fans are. And like, you know, I feel weird saying fans, but like all of like the community members are, and like how genuinely engaged they are with the content, if that makes sense. And that's really like, it's just insane to me. I mean, you know, scratch the 3 million subs. Even as a kid, I never thought like, you know, maybe when I'm like, you know, maybe after like, you know, 5, 10 years of being a YouTuber, then I'll make it to 3 million subs. And, you know, eventually down the line, it would be cool to have a diamond play button just to have it, I guess. But, you know, for the most part, it's all about, to me, like, I feel like I've succeeded. You know, I've gotten the like, I feel like they're smaller goals like in the future and stuff. Like, you know, obviously 10 mil is a big goal, but to me it feels like a small goal, because I've kind of already, you know, I feel happy with the success that I have, and now it's just about, you know, hopefully keeping the audience that I've gathered happy. You know what I mean? That's the deal for me now.
Honestly, from what with shorts YouTubers, I feel like they have like a lower like time on YouTube. I feel like you've gotten like one of the best like rolls, like just dice rolls of you being able to keep it, and I think it's just really cool because like for a lot, I think you're one of like you and like the other short sports people, but like you guys have like the longest run I've ever seen on shorts, and I really hope that keeps going, and you guys can just like move on to your other stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think you're
Um,
right. Yeah, shorts YouTubers do have a smaller lifespan, and you know, I've definitely had my ups and downs, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
um, but yeah, those are like my main questions. Then I have the two questions I promised someone, which so first is, would you say Nova Chibi's one of your top fans? That's fun to say, you know.
I mean, he's definitely dedicated. I appreciate like his content and stuff. I don't know if like I could say he's like the best fan that, or like one of like the most dedicated fans or whatever. I think that's for him to say, but I mean, I appreciate his content and stuff for sure.
And then last one, I'm not gonna say the name. We know who it is. But how would you react if someone like hypothetically got everything from the Toon Turf store when it like launches and stuff?
I would be insanely grateful for their support of the series and stuff. We've made it pretty like pretty clear on the website and stuff. It's the merch is just specifically to like fund and help support hopefully making more Toon Turf in the future. Or, you know, obviously if more episodes can't get made, then at that point it's just showing your love for the character and stuff. So yeah, I'd be so grateful if they got like that everything bundle that's coming on the web store.
But yeah, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for letting me do this and just agreeing to it and us finally getting this time and getting it done, which has been
Yeah, I
great.
appreciate it. I'm sorry for having to reschedule so many times. 100% on me.
No, don't worry, dude. It's completely fine. Honestly, I'm just happy this happened because this has been like a dream since last year, and I'm like, I want to get it before 2025. Didn't happen, but I'm just happy it's happening now, which it's great. And I'm not gonna lie, was not expecting to get a creator this big as like I think my fourth one now.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm always grateful to help creators on the rise and everything. That's epic.
Mhm. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you have a good night and all that. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate it. I'm gonna stop recording. Do you want to put?
That was the Dano interview. Thank you so much for watching it. I just want to say anyone who's helped support me and just be like, hey, you can do this. Thank you so much. Great. Again, thank you, Dano, so much for this, and it's been a great opportunity. And thank you to anyone who's helped me try getting into contact with him. So all that. Bye. Hope to see you next time.